Welcome to Red Stars Report, a podcast for fans of Chicago Stars FC and a community for everyone. I am your host, LT.
And I am your co-host, Liz.
The Chicago Stars lost in the 99th minute, 100th minute, on a PK to the last place Utah Royals. The club has now only scored 3 goals in the first 5 matches of the season. Not great. Really thought that they could have at least gotten a draw out of this one. I wouldn't even go as far as to say that they deserved a draw, but they certainly could have gotten one. But that last minute PK decision on Carey's challenge was the biggest difference maker. Very, very, very late in the game. And then Alyssa Nair once again did choose the right direction on the PK chance, but it's not easy to stop an Ali Sentnor take. So that was the biggest difference maker. I kind of looked at this match as a battle of mediocrity. I think I said to someone, it really did feel like that. It was just like two teams that just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, this was one of the most the offensive struggle on both sides in this game was awful. There were in total between the two teams 2 shots on target. The one that Utah had was the PK,
Yeah,
and then Chicago had one. And I believe it was Nadia Gomes at like the end of the game, like towards the end of the game, I think.
I'd have
Maybe
to
I'm
look at that.
But
I don't
I
know.
think that's the one. But there was only one. In total, just of shots, not even on target, each team had 9. That is awful. There were 18 total shots in the game, 2 of which were on target. One of them was a penalty kick. That tells you that how each team is struggling offensively. And it was so choppy, I guess is the word I would use to describe the game to me. There was no rhythm, there was no flow. There was just a lot of midfield badness across the board, I feel like. And when I say midfield, I'm not meaning the midfielders, I'm meaning just in the middle of the pitch. Everybody was turning the ball over, just repeatedly, just turnover after turnover after turnover. And I don't know, that penalty kick, sure, call it. But if you're going to call that, earlier in the game, I believe it was in the first half, Maddie Pogarsh came in, she was sub because they had an injury, and landed on the ball. It landed between her arm and her body. And then I'm like, fine, don't call that a PK. Could, but don't call that. But then when I saw in the replay that Pogarsh takes her arm and shoved the ball away with her arm, that is a handball in the box. Should have been a penalty kick to Chicago. The fact that it didn't even go to a review of VAR is where I have the problem. They didn't even go and look at it. This
The
foul,
center ref didn't go look
yes,
at
this
it.
yes, the center
They
ref did
did review
not.
it in the booth,
Yes,
though.
yes, yes, yes. They didn't actually go look at the video, and I feel like first of all, it should have been a penalty kick instantaneous from the VAR folk. But the fact that they didn't even go look at it after the fact, like what I if they do a like one of those pro reviews of the refs
Oh,
and
sure,
they
yeah.
talk about this, I am very curious what the conversation is because if they say something like, "Well, she shoved the ball with her arm," well, that's hands. Like I'm curious. I doubt we'll get one because it was a bad call, and I feel like they're not going to do that. But the Recaro foul is is tough for me because they're both going for the ball. They're both like lunging out with their leg, and it just so happened that I can't remember who the player was for Utah that got their foot down right before Carey and she stepped on top of her foot. That is just unfortunate timing. I have said this before, I hate penalties where the player is not like right in front of the goal, like it happens way in the 18, like away from things. Like I hate those sort of calls getting called penalty kicks. I would rather it be an indirect free kick in the box or even a direct free kick in the box, where you could have a wall because there's zero chance that that player from Utah was going to score in that scenario. But Carey doesn't know that, and it's hard to like move your foot in midair. I thought if they were going to give the call that they gave to Utah, then Chicago absolutely deserved a penalty kick and in the first half.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement there. I would have called either both or neither.
Yep.
Like to just sort of like if Chicago had gotten that handball uh in that I think you were right. I think it was in the first half. We could be wrong. Um if they had gotten that handball in the box and got a PK out of it and then they didn't even go to a review for the one in the box that happened from Carey, I would have been like, oh, that's a really, but like they really should have looked at that one because that was close. Like I would have this exact opposite thought. I immediately knew that it was going to be a PK. Like
Oh yeah.
it was obvious. Like anywhere on the field that would have been a foul. Um, I mean, maybe not from this ref because there were a couple of players that got stepped on from both teams, and there were no. I think like Mies even like had her foot completely stepped on when she got past. I think it was Bianca on the sideline, and it like got pulled back for a foul, but she didn't not even a card or anything. Like I don't
BSG
know.
should have had like 8 cards in that game, and I'm not even kidding.
That's classic her. Yeah, I thought it was unfortunate. It was incredibly unfortunate that a PK like that happened so late in the match. Could have been a draw.
Yep.
It would have been absolutely like a huge confidence builder and such a terrible match if Alyssa had saved it. Um, I
That would have been
really,
wild,
I really wish that the teams that they keep giving these PKs to didn't have great PK takers.
right?
Um, because you see so many poorly taken PKs around the world, and it just so happens that the ones that Chicago has faced this year are just like they're unstoppable, and it's really frustrating.
And they're hitting the ball like perfectly.
Oh
Because
yeah,
Alyssa's guessing great. It's just that they're hitting it perfectly to the corner. They're placing it perfectly. Because if they wouldn't, Alyssa would probably be getting them.
yeah. Her dives are in the right direction. Her body level is perfect for the stop. The ball is usually just like 4 or 5 inches to her right or left of her hand, her extended hand, and it's like, ugh, like why can't someone just take a poorer PK?
Right? Yeah,
Um,
it was frustrating. I'm like, because they said that that was Ali Setnor's first PK attempt, I believe, in the NWSL.
oh wow, okay.
I believe it, or was it her first make? It was one of the two. It was her first make or first attempt, or maybe it was both. I don't recall, but I remember they said it was her
I would be
first PK
surprised if she's
make.
missed before because if I just remember her like taking PKs for the youth national teams, like that she's a great PK
Yeah,
taker.
she's
So,
very talented.
yeah, I mean she's overall a talented player. Utah does not know what to do with her.
No.
Um, they the like I barely knew she was in the match. Like a player of her caliber just sort of disappearing until she wins it for them is really really unfortunate for a player like that.
Yeah, I love Ali Sentnor, and I'm excited for her at the US like level and the national team, but I don't like playing against her, and I'm kind of glad that the coach has not figured out how to play that she's a player that you build a team around.
Hmm.
And they need to figure out a formation and strategy that works for her to be more, I don't know, involved, I guess, with the team because she's not, as you said, like kind of forgot she was out there for most of the game. And it's like, oh, here comes Ali Sentnor to take the PK.
Yeah. A lot of the strategy of Utah seems to be like pelt the wings, like go after Cam and Taylor a lot and not really push the ball up the middle a ton.
It
I
seems
think
very
that's
similar to Chicago.
yeah, and I think part of that has to do with like the lack of Tanaka,
Hmm.
because she is really that sort of driving force up the middle for
Yeah,
from Utah.
and they're out of without Paige Monahan
Hmm.
as well. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough.
They were depleted, which is why they've been playing so poorly this season when I expected them to be a lot better than they are. And so when, Chicago, another struggling team, sort of comes in um to play them after a win, I was like, okay, like just build on some of the stuff that worked out last week and get a win. And uh, there was nothing that they built off of last week, I think, other than
Get
um
Ludmila the ball.
yeah, and then her not take a shot,
I
just
mean,
dribble it into the keeper twice.
I will say that it is very deceiving to look at the stats and it say that there's one shot on target because she had a couple opportunities that were fantastic opportunities that
Yeah,
she just could not, it wasn't
she
technically a
didn't get the
shot.
shot off. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to know her reasoning as to why on that one because so the one play where she got the yellow card where McGlynn
That
like
was weird.
where she did the splits. They called her offside, and then she is running towards McGlynn, who's obviously trying to like be big because she came out of the in towards the out to the end of the 18 to try and like cut down the angle. And then Ludmila is trying to shoot, and she's running obviously very quickly. And McGlynn does the splits in front of her, so Ludmila lands on her because she's given no landing like area.
Yeah.
And I think that that was a crap yellow, which then again that changed the trajectory of the game. It really
Mhm.
did.
She couldn't be
And
as aggressive
yeah,
as she usually is.
and it was unfortunate. And I also like when I saw that the replays, I am not sold that she was offside because
Really?
I think the defender on the opposite side, it was really close.
I think if you look at the lines in the grass, you can see that she's a little off.
I think it was close enough that I'm glad that they let her play on.
Yeah,
And I think that I don't know if she gave it her best effort because I
she
don't
probably
know if
thought she was offside.
yes.
Yeah,
So because my question is why didn't she do what she kind of did against Bay and dribble around? You're faster than McGlynn.
yeah,
And then she could have scored. And I'm like it there was a possibility they could have maybe not called that offside. I think that there was a shot. But
yeah.
I thought it was interesting to go right towards her.
And then she did it again
Yes.
on that second attempt, and um, it was like it was just she had a heavy touch right at the end that sent it sort of like right into McGlynn. So it wasn't as egregious as that first one going straight into her, but it was like you really, really wish that she would have just gotten like a better touch on it because then maybe she would have gotten a shot off. Um, but I didn't understand like the angles that she was taking. It felt very different than last week where she was very intentional with the ball at her feet. And this it looked like she just didn't know what she was doing when she had free space in front of her. I thought it was very strange. And then, like you said, the getting that yellow really sort of changed a lot for her and her aggressiveness on trying to dispossess players and press up top. It it really affected her game, and then I think it was strange that Lauren would pull off Mies and Ali before Ludmila because I would have taken Ludmila off and brought in like MJ or I don't know, someone else,
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay, Cat if she was actually on the bench, and then
Honestly,
left
Shay. Like, I don't even
or
care.
Shay,
Like,
yeah,
somebody.
and then um or Ava, like I don't
Yeah.
know, like and then just left Mies and Allie out there for another 10 minutes and then subbed them because maybe something would have been different because then you have these players like who subbed in Nadia and Leilani
Yes.
who have no like on-field experience with Ludmila this season other than like a couple of minutes here and there and there's just her struggling, and then players around her with no that have no chemistry on the field with her, and it was just a lost cause at that point. Like there was nothing going forward. Ludmila was getting frustrated and almost getting a red card. Um, it was just a mess. I thought the second that Mies and Ali got subbed out, everything just sort of fell apart up top. And or maybe it was MJ that came in with with Leilani, and then I think Nadia came out later. Um, but even like MJ couldn't. I mean, she's a very young, inexperienced player. Like she was not going to save the day, or like she tried her best to be a driving force on that up top, but it just felt like such a mess up top the second that Mies and Ali got subbed out. It was just strange decision. I don't really know what sort of went into it, but I would have done the opposite. I would have pulled Ludmila first, gotten the subs a little more comfortable, and then pulled the other two, if at all. Like, I don't know if, I mean, Ali usually needs to come off. She's not necessarily a 90-minute player, but Mies probably could have gone 90. I don't know. She didn't look that exhausted.
Yeah, I agree. The end of the game, management is really making me start to question what the coaching staff is doing. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand from who you're subbing in and when they're subbing in, and then who you're subbing them in for, because it just seems like it was a bad situation of like as you said, Ludmila's on the card. She was fiery at the end of the first half and was fiery throughout the second half because she wasn't happy with the ref. I get it. I get it. And you need to recognize that your player, like they need to come out. Like if anybody needed a sub, it was Ludmila at that point. And
Yeah,
I
she probably
didn't
should
get
have
it.
come out when she got that warning
Yeah.
before she could have gotten a second yellow, you
Because
know?
I believe that I think, did Allie step in? Like there were, that was at halftime. I think that Nair and
Yeah.
Schlegel came in and like tried to get her away from the referee. So
Mm.
there was clearly things happening. I don't understand when you're looking for a goal and you have a player like Jamise Joseph, as you said, totally can go 90, I'm assuming, barring that she has some sort of knock that we're unaware
Yeah.
of. That if you're going to bring in a player like Michaela Johnson, you need to have somebody be able to keep up with her and also be that kind of driving force for her to play off of. I don't think with Nadia and Leilani you're going to get that. Also, then obviously Ava Cook subbed in later, and there's nothing like
Yeah,
there's
now
nothing
you have
there.
four players that have no minutes together on a front line for the rest of the
Yes.
match, and it's like you're not going to score, you're not going to win this game. So why sub in these players when you could have pulled Jamies on that wing for like Justina Gaynor, or who else was on there, like Shay, like players with like defensive minds. Like if you're gonna play for the draw, because clearly
Yes.
that's what it almost felt like they were doing. If you're gonna play that way, like obviously players are want to win, but instead of subbing in like attackers, quote unquote attackers, sub in a Justina Gaynor, a Shea Groom, put them on the wings, help the defense out, make sure you don't, because those players can also get involved offensively if need be, um, but Nadia's not the best defender. Leilani's not the best defender, which is why they keep moving her further and further up the field. And it's like I just don't I don't know. The bench is not good enough to win games late for this club, um and it's just it's unfortunate that it kind of came down to losing this one in the very waning minutes of the match when there was really it didn't feel like there was any sort of momentum in their direction anyway.
Yeah, I think that when you look at the players that weren't used with Chardonnay, Shea, and Justina, obviously Wood is also there, but um, I don't know why Shea Groom did not come in for Ali Schlegel. That to me would have been the move. I
Mhm.
don't get it. Um, and or if you really wanted to bring in Ava, I guess you could have done that too. I would have much rather it be Shea, I guess, for Ali, just because Shea is such a vet. And if Lauren says to her, we want to draw. I want you to be more defensive. Shea's going to say, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
hold it down, and that's what I'm going to do. And I don't get it. I don't understand. This, I have had some questions throughout the season already on some of the decision making. And this particular game was kind of the straw for me where I'm like, I really don't know what's happening anymore. Like, I don't get what we're doing. Like, I don't understand. And like in the Bay game previously, we talked about it last episode. Why didn't we use our subs earlier to waste more time? Like we finally did it, but like you do that to waste time so that you can make the game, like you can stop the game. I don't know. I just have a lot of questions and I just don't know. Like Shea is such a great talent to have to bring off the bench. Like a lot of teams would love to have a player like Shea to bring off the bench. And I don't know why she wasn't used. I I'm going to roll this into a whole other conversation because we're talking about subs now.
Sure.
Um, I do not understand, and I said it last week and I'm going to say it again. Hannah Anderson, what are we doing? Why did we sign her to a 3-year contract extension for a center back who is now going to sit on the bench? I don't get it. That is probably the thing that is probably the most frustrating to me personally because I don't understand it. She's talented. You want her to learn from Sam Staub. Why is she not playing alongside Sam Staub? I don't get it.
Yeah, I completely agree. We talked about that last week. I gave my little pitch and spiel about how I want, um, if they're going to play carry at center back, I would like to see Hannah out there at outside back. I think that would be fun. My gripe with the subs was the fact that Mana and Kat weren't even dressed for this match, which this is how I'll describe it. Like Kat is the only player on Chicago that is like a true nine. Like she's played there her whole college career. She's really tall. She has great vision. And if you want to sub out an Ali or Ludmila up top, why do you not have Kat available to sort of take on that role? Um, which she has this season. She's come in a couple of times. She's made some decent passes on some through balls. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know why she's not even dressed. And then when it comes to Mana, the I think we've only seen her like once or twice, but the first time that she stepped out on the pitch, she had I think three of the four, or like all three of Chicago's like created chances in the second half. Like her passing was so good forward that she was making things happen, even if the players that the ball was going to were not finishing. And it's like you watched early in the season her go out there and at least show you something that she can perform in this league. and then we haven't seen her in forever. And I like why is she the one that's not dressed? Why is Kat the one that's not dressed? It's like I just don't get it. I don't get what's happening. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Why are we trotting out the same subs that have made zero impact in games when we have other subs that, when they've gotten very limited minutes, have made impacts? That's my
And
question.
like last season, like oh they tried Chardonnay out at outside back and it wasn't like super great. I think the second time that she went out there as outside back, she actually played pretty well. Um, but it was like in like the last like 15 or 20 minutes of a match that I think they were already losing badly, so it wasn't like the other team wasn't like pushing that much up. But when they've put her out there as a forward, like she's actually made things happen. Like she sends in good crosses. Like she gets the ball to the end line. Like why is this player on the bench and not playing? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just
I
I'm
don't know.
lost for words. Um, and it's like if they go out there and do get a chance and they don't perform, sure, I'll take back uh what I said, or I'll eat my words. It's fine, but at least give them a chance. Like these players that aren't playing have played before and have played well. Uh, so it's just so confusing. I am like I said, I am at a loss for words at what these late game decisions are.
And I don't care if the player plays well in practice. I truly don't care at this point. Doing the same thing and playing these same players that have done nothing when they come in as subs, I don't care if they do well in practice. That doesn't mean anything because if they can't perform in a game, then stop putting them out there because they're not doing anything. And what's the worst thing we can do if we put Shar out there or we put Shay out there, we put Mana out there? We lose. Guess what? We are anyway. Like, why does it matter? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing, like, they might have made something happen when they came in if they would have come in for the game. Um, but nothing happened with these subs, but we keep doing the same thing. This feels like just the definition of insanity with me, where we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we're expecting a different result. And then we have to come on here and record this, and we're saying the same things over and over and over again because the same things are happening. We can't change what we're saying because we're doing the same things. It's insane. It's at this point, it's insane.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to sit here and I wouldn't necessarily like fill time because like what we are saying is not just like we're not
It's
talking
not
just to
it's not
talk, but
crap. Like it's
yeah,
facts.
it's just it's hard to come up with something new to say. Like you said, like with the Hannah stuff, it's like here we go again. Like we're just we're gonna sit here on another week and talk about why Hannah is on the bench. We're gonna sit here another week and talk about why can't these forwards who have individual talent actually get anything going up front. Like it's just it's frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Yep. Why does Julia Grosso perform so well for Canada and then she comes here and we can't figure out how to utilize her? I don't know. I These are all questions I would love answers to.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you there. I will say the biggest positive, obviously, to come out of this match was the fact that we got to see Ava Cook on a soccer pitch for the first time in over a year. I think it was last week would have been like the game on Sunday would have been 1 year since she last took the pitch. Um, um, Last season against Angel City. I think it was maybe it was someone else.
I do not
Um,
recall.
so we got to see Ava Cook back. She obviously got the garbage minutes time after they subbed out Julia Grosso, and it's just wonderful to see her back out there. I hope she finds a role uh, this season with this club. She's on, I think, just a like a option year. So I believe she's a free agent after this season, and I would like to see what she can do with a full season under her. Um, I don't know if she would start for this team, but certainly could be an incredibly valuable asset off the bench moving forward when she gets her feet under her and can actually start
I agree.
getting closer to how we've seen her perform before.
Yeah, I agree. I love to see a player come back from injury, and be able to play again. Fearless, grass stains all over the kit as usual. Love that. But yeah, it'll be nice to have her because she will be another option. And we know that what she can do. And so that's why at least that bolsters the bench for now.
Hmm.
And I say for now because who knows? She could break into the starting lineup. I don't know. But it is a great thing to put a player like that, that has played so well for us in the past, back on the bench. Obviously, it's going to take her a while to get fitness. But yeah, I love Ava. I was so happy to see her to come in, and it's unfortunate that the game ended in a loss instead of at least a draw because it would have made it's not as sweet as it could have been to have her at least come in and get a point out of it.
Yeah, because it was at the point where when she did come in, I wasn't paying super close attention to her specifically. I was more focused on the defense because Utah sort of had the momentum. By the time that she came in, she did make like a couple of like dive to the ground challenges, and I was like, she's back.
Yes, yes.
The question will obviously be like she was used on the wing in Julia's spot this time. She's played really well on the wing before. I think both of her braces came from matches that she played as a winger, and but she can also be utilized in that nine position. She plays really well with her back to the goal. I know that I think it's so funny to look back at the times um, where Ella Stevens was on this club and they were transitioning her into sort of a nine role, and she credited Ava with like teaching her how to be a nine. And now we have, Ella Stevens. She's injured right now, but we have Ella Stevens, over at Gotham just being one of the more recognized players in the league. It's cool to see that a player like Ava could um, show uh, aspects of the game to a player who is now thriving and has never played, that sort of role before. I think that's because countless times players have talked about how great of a teammate Ava is, and we watched her while she was injured show up to every single match anyway. Even because some players will take the time to recover on their own. Everyone has their own headspace, their own mind. But Ava was there every single match. She was out on the pitch after every win and loss last season to celebrate or grieve with their teammates, and that's just the kind of person she is. So I'm really happy that she's back.
Yep, I agree. I think that she brings a such good energy to the locker room. So I'm glad that she's back now as somebody that can play. I know that she was there no matter what, but it's nice to see that, and hopefully she can put some goals up for us because we need some. We need somebody that's gonna score. So we'll it'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen. When do we play Angel City?
Yeah. Don't play Angel City quite yet. Yeah, the she did score before she got injured at the beginning of last season. So that was sort of like hopes for a breakout year for her then. So that would be cool for her to come back and sort of start performing once she sort of gets more minutes under her belt.
Yeah, we
Uh,
love that.
I
I would like
do.
to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I can. I was just going to piggyback off of minutes and fitness and
Sure, go
injuries and
ahead.
talk about the fact that Sam Staub played 80-ish minutes in the game, and that's huge. Like
Yeah.
again, we have players coming back from injury, and to get a fully fit, that means that she is very close to 90, like very, very close to 90. And that will be huge because you know that once she's good to go, she's not coming off the field.
No,
Not happening.
of
Zero
course not.
chance.
She's Sam Staub.
Yeah, zero chance that's happening.
Three-time Iron Woman,
Yeah.
two-time. I can't remember.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't even
lot.
know what it is, but that's the thing. Like I just wanted to mention the fact that she is very close to being fully fit, and that's going to be huge for Chicago.
Yeah. I think the defense in this match, specifically, I think they were pretty solid. Sam did struggle sort of getting things going. She still seems to like not have like a super comfortability with the ball at her feet right now, but she does still play defense like Sam Staub plays defense, and that's absolutely wonderful to see. Um, we
And
got
those
another
throw-ins.
those throw-ins are, I mean, I hope they work out someday. At least Allie's getting her head on a lot of them nowadays. Last season, it was a bit of a struggle to even sort of uh, get a player to get their head on it. So that's good to see. But another player that we've now seen 2 weeks in a row have, a great performance, I think, was Cam, really making up for those first few matches of the season where she was struggling. Just great 1v1 defense, especially against a player as aggressive as BSG, to sort of, keep getting her foot in there, even if they, go out for corners or being able to run BSG down and get in front of her. And she I just thought she had a great match, and it's nice to see what we saw last season come back this season, because we wanted her to stay when there were question marks about whether or not she would at the end of last season. And I think having her on the field, especially with Sam back, who she has a great on-field relationship with from their time in Washington, I think is beneficial to her. And then when you're getting praise from Alyssa Nair, who last week said that she put on a 1v1 masterclass, that's got to feel fantastic for your confidence.
Yeah, I thought that she was great again. She put up with BSG and didn't feed into the theatrics, I guess
Yeah.
is the word I will use. And that's what you have to do. You don't want to feed into that. You don't want to get emotional because that BSG wants to get in your head. And you cannot let that happen because once she's in your head, you're done. You're toast, ball game. And so we all know that from her time in Chicago. So I thought it was great. BSG is a very good player. She's physical and she's fast. She's got pretty solid skills across the board. And Cam did a great job on her. Again, zero shots on goal from the defense minus that penalty kick. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Not that Utah is great at scoring goals, but even so, like, for the defense to not even let a player like Ali Sentnor get a shot on goal without it being a free shot at the box on a PK, that's tremendous work by both the defense, including, Carey and Taylor, but also Maitani and B. Like Maitani, I think, was very solid again. Like definitely the kind of defensive midfielder that I've been waiting for this team to have. She does a great job, like we've mentioned before, not falling for the we're getting pushed back and therefore I need to get as far back as possible. She does a good job at timing when she needs to press forward to stop the push from the opposing team, and when she needs to hold as a holding midfielder. Um, and she doesn't fall for the trap of if the ball is um, getting pushed down the wings, she doesn't immediately jump into the box and let players uh, get free shots off at the top of the box. And I think that's been great to see um, with her now that she's healthy and getting starts there. And I think they need to just keep her there.
Yep, I agree. I love I've loved when you're saying that we've got to see a player for the last 2 weeks and you're talking about Cam. I thought you were actually going to say my Tawny's name because
Both of
it's
them.
very similar. Very similar situations. Like have been very impressive the last two games. I that it's a player that has changed the dynamic of the midfield. I truly thought that last year that was going to be Julia Grosso. Unfortunately, that has not happened yet. And I say yet, I'm still holding on
She's
to
not
hope
even
that
playing
it's
in the midfield,
going to eventually
sort of.
happen. Well, kind of. But my Tawny has just been an absolute like she's a game changer in the midfield. And I love what she does. And when she does decide to step up and try to stop the offensive attack, she does stop it most of the time. Like she is very good at intercepting a bad touch by a player or a pass or something like that, or just shaking it up, stopping a run, doing whatever. Like just very talented with that. And I'm so impressed. And you can tell that my Tawny and B are building a relationship like on the field, like they are building chemistry together. And because B had a really good game as well, I think.
So good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought B had the best performance of anybody on that field. Defensively, she was stellar. Her challenges against Utah players were great. It's not something she's super, well known for, but she's getting better. Her aerial presence is felt entirely, both defensively and getting the ball forward. But what I loved to see the most about her game this time around was her lateral movement with the ball. The When the ball was at her feet, there was not much back passing or like shoving it into a forward whose back is to the goal. She was like one touch laterally passing to a player in motion several times. It was like you just saw a ball come to her, and sometimes I didn't even realize it was her, like in the moment. And then it was just like a just really nice lateral passes to players that she just felt were making runs to her right or left, and connecting with them and allowing them to create chances down the field. And I thought I hadn't seen that kind of passing from her before. This was the first match that I watched her, do that consistently, and I was really, really impressed with her overall performance. And I think, like you mentioned, I think my Tani is really, really helping with that because with the way that my Tani can sort of hold that defensive midfield, it's allowing B to sort of be more free with her movements. Um, she still I mean, it's obviously like a collective with what the forwards are doing because like there's still not a whole lot of forward movement when it comes to her progression up the field, but that's also on Julia, that's also on Ludmila and Ali, who are sort of in her space as well, and as well as Taylor, who did have some good movement forward, not necessarily in connection with B, but I did just want to mention that. Um, but yeah, I thought B had a great overall performance, specifically defensively, because the midfield has struggled in that area for a long time. And like I said, Utah really just tried to push the ball outside so much because I think Maitani and B were such an imposing presence up the middle.
It makes me excited moving forward because as we've mentioned, obviously Chicago has players that are out currently or ones that are slowly but surely getting their fitness. I think that this truly, and I'm not just saying this to be positive, like I honestly believe we're going to get better as the season goes on because we're going to build that chemistry. Maitani's going to build that chemistry. Sam Staub's going to get 100%. We're going to eventually get Natalia Kuika back to play on the defensive line. I can see things getting better. And that's not even talking about the fact that maybe Mal comes back. No idea there. Don't want to get into that too much, but that all of those things could happen and that could flip the season around very quickly. But even without Mal, like Ludmila is a proven goal scorer. Jamise needs to get it going. Ali Schlegel needs to get it going. And Julia Grosso needs to get it going. And if those players can figure it out, or somebody other than Ludmila can figure it out, they could be pretty solid this year and they could actually start winning games and be competitive in some of the games that maybe they're not favored in. But I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to pull from the positives, but the turnaround with my Tawny in the midfield that has occurred is just it's crazy. And I'm so glad that we signed her. Everybody's on this big kick that Chicago didn't make any moves this offseason. We signed my Tawny, which is a huge get. Like
Yeah.
she's so proven. And I'm she has exceeded my expectations so far. And I know it's only a couple games here that she's started, but she has exceeded my expectations so far.
I I I agree with you in some ways. I think
Ooh,
the
you're gonna
de
disagree?
I think the defense, like I don't think they're going to give up as many goals as I expected them to give up this season moving forward. I think we will see a lot of 1-0 losses, well, 2-0 losses, 2-1 losses, 1-1 draws. I, I, I wouldn't say like gone are the days of them losing 5-0 to North Carolina, or whatever, like we did a couple years ago, or 6-0 to Orlando.
Oh,
But I don't necessarily see that happening, especially if Natu gets healthy and my Tani and B build a little better of a relationship. I need Cam to stay consistent. I need Taylor to get better if Natu's not going to come back. Um, but I think defensively they will get better. I still have a huge question mark about the offense because obviously the reason that Ludmila got those 2 goals last match were just really well thought out passes and well weighted passes by Mies in transition. Um, and you're not going to win games if that's the only way that you're producing goals. You need to produce goals off of set pieces. You need to, start drawing penalties in the box, which means you need to get balls into the
in
box
the box.
to be able to do that. I think it's just it's a little too much of I think I have my expectations are low for the amount of offense that we're going to see from this team. Um, I think, um, I don't know. I need to see a lot more of a consistent uh, goal scoring over the course of like 3 matches before I could think that the season would be different. We obviously saw the opposite last season where they weren't necessarily scoring a lot of goals, but they were winning a lot of matches where they were scoring 1 or 2 goals and then the defense was playing really well. And then by the end of the season, they were struggling to score and then also playing poor defense. So, but that was obviously mostly due to the fact of the loss of Sam. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this season moving forward. Um, I think they could get a lot of draws based on how much better their defense and defensive midfield could get. But I hate the fact and the idea of playing defensively without any sort of offense. Like there needs to be a much better overall performance from this team week in and week out.
Yep, I agree. That's why I think somebody needs to get hot. And those players that I mentioned, if somebody can figure it out,
Yeah.
then that will be a game changer. But if not, and it's going to rest on the shoulders of Ludmila, it's not going to go well. And they shouldn't be doing that. But Jamise Joseph, the touch that she has on her passes and has had the last two games is fantastic. And if she can continue to do that, then maybe we can get some opportunities and we just need to capitalize because, as you said, we're not going to get a lot of them. So when we do get those opportunities, players like Ludmila are going to have to put them away because you don't get very many in a game.
Yeah, her passes have been great. I think she's also been incredibly good at dispossessing players. Like we saw glimpses of that last season, and now we just see it every single match this season. She just knows how to get her foot in there and win the ball back. It it would produce more if when she got those turnovers, more people were running with her and down the field. That's been the real struggle, but I love seeing her be able to do that. Obviously, Ludmila struggled in this match, which was unfortunate following such a great performance from last week. I think Ali defensively was good, but offensively, I think she had like one chance, and instead of, I think it was her, where she got the ball into the box, and then instead of breaking right and getting a shot on goal, she just cut down her angle to the left, the old Mal Swanson special, and just hit it into the back of or the side netting. And it's like,
Yep.
like I just need players when they do get those opportunities in the box to just make uh quicker decisions on where they need to put the ball because there was no one to her right. And
And test the keeper. I don't care if you kick it
yeah,
right at the keeper, to be completely honest. I'd rather that
sure.
than not even put it on frame.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I even liked the ball like bounced around a couple times at some point in the match, and it fell to the outside of the box, and Cam hit it from outside the box, and it did go over the bar, but it was like at least someone tried something. Like she didn't just like bring it down at her feet and then try to be all fancy getting it into the box. Like she was just like, I am going to shoot this, and hopefully I can keep it down. She didn't keep it down, but I like opportunities like that. We need to take more of them.
well, and even at the end of the game, like Leilani dispossessed that player from outside and then she shot it and they blown the whistle, but
Oh,
and it hit the crossbar, but like obviously the whistle was blown, she got a yellow card, but those sort of opportunities, like if you see the keeper out, McGlynn is notorious for being
or
out of
yeah,
position. And there were multiple times where I was like, just give it
chipper.
a go.
Yeah.
Give it a go. Like, and we didn't. And that's why it's like those sort of things sometimes, especially when your offense is struggling, especially to get it in the box and get a shot off, shoot it from outside. Ali Sentnor's not scared to do it. That's like her specialty. She didn't
Yeah.
do it this game, but
What did they say on the broadcast? Like 59 shots in her career outside the box
yes.
in
Love
two
it.
years, less
Love
than
it.
2 years. That's crazy. That's nuts.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to stay positive and hope that somebody can get hot and then we can ride that for a little bit and while everybody gets healthy. That's my hope.
Yeah, I hope that I really hope that the bench is like sorted out in like who are your go-tos, and the players who are your go-tos need to perform late in matches. They just need to. Um
Come
and
back, Jenna Bike, please.
yeah, Jenna, we instantly, if Jenna was back, we would actually win corners because we can't win a corner worth anything. Um, that would be nice. I think with more minutes, MJ could, and I've said it before, I think MJ should be the first off the bench every single match. Um, but it's it's a struggle with her when you're bringing her on without the key offensive players surrounding her. And she can obviously create her own offense, but she doesn't. She shouldn't need to.
Right. That's a lot to
That's
put on a 17-year-old.
yeah, it's a little too much. So yeah, I'm obviously looking for, as every week we are looking for them to get better. Uh, we'll see if it happens, and if not, we'll be right back here to talk about the same stuff.
I'm gonna say it. I feel positive about the San Diego game.
Yeah, I would have said that had they not thrashed Louisville today.
Nope, I still feel positive. I still feel positive. I'm
I don't
rolling with
know.
it.
I don't know. I like Barnakis is really uh as a young player is really coming into her own. I love how much people love to trash McCaskill, even though she's, makes a difference on
It's
every team
insane.
that she goes to. And yeah, I think they're a good team, and obviously they have Sheridan in goal, and that's always a
Yep.
struggle.
I still feel good. I feel good.
Remain the positive one on
That's
this
not even
podcast.
it's honestly not even me being positive. I have the same feeling about this game as I did the Bay game.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Like I honestly don't. Like after the game, after the Utah game, I was mad. I was mad at the coaching staff specifically because of the decisions. I
Mm.
feel good. I feel
I
good right now.
I do like when we don't have to record right away after matches, because then I can sort of sit with it and feel a little better about losses. But I do like recording right after wins though, because then I'm at like
Yes. Yeah, you got
my
that
peak.
high. You got that
Yeah.
high. Well, also before we wrap this up, I wanted to say shout out to the Discord. We do post-game chats after most of the games if we can. And yes, it was a loss, but there were several folks that joined. It was really fun. I was glad that we saw some or heard from some new people. So join the Discord so you can participate in those and you can complain and be upset about stuff or celebrate wins. And we like to do especially celebrate the wins. It's always fun. So join the Discord so you can do that and chat during the match.
Yeah, usually those losses, the post match discussions are not full of people, but it was nice to. I was at work, so I couldn't be there, but it was really nice to know that even in a loss, there were a lot of people that showed up, even if it was to just like air their grievances about the team instead of what is usually just them celebrating a win and being excited for the players and stuff. But that's really nice to see. Absolutely join the Discord. It's a great place to experience this club together in, good or bad. It's nice to have a community around you, whether you are speaking in it or just observing like a lot of people do. We appreciate anybody that joins our community. And then make sure, you're subscribed to our channels across all the platforms so you can listen to our podcast on YouTube as well. Make sure you leave a like, and then that really helps others find our content. You can go to redstarsreport.com, keep up with the news and opinion pieces from Liz after every single match. She's doing an absolutely fantastic job recapping it for those who don't listen to the podcast, can't listen to the podcast, or just, prefer to get their opinion pieces in writings.
Don't want to listen to us talk.
Yeah, if you don't want to listen to our voices, go listen to Liz's head voice when it's
Yes, yes, my head voice, which is
in
probably
words,
worse.
words written on a page. Yeah, so we'll be back next week to recap that San Diego match, and until then, we'll see you next week for another Red Stars report.